Check one, check two, checking the audio. Hello, love. How's it going? It's Gray over at Wakizashi's Teahouse in Japan. I've got some tea with me today, some nice Darjeeling summer or second flush from last year. I just drank some just before going live and it went down the wrong way, so my voice has got a bit weird. Sorry about that. How are you doing? How are you doing? Can you hear me? Is there anybody out there? Let's have a look. So we have in the chat already. Awesome one was here before. Great to see you. I know this is an unusual time for me. I couldn't do my regular Friday night stream yesterday, Saturday my time, because my jiu-jitsu buddy, that's right, can you do jiu-jitsu? My jiu-jitsu buddy from Switzerland, speaking Japanese then, Switzerland, he had a final practice and then he was flying back to Switzerland late last night. So I was in the dojo yesterday for the first time. Well, second time actually this month, but it's been the first time in ages. First time since spring, so really feeling it today. Let's just say, my God, how many times did Gray have to pick himself up off the floor? Unbelievable. Purple Valkyrie's in the chat, and that is awesome, because I'm usually on too late for Purple to be here, so great to see you. I've been enjoying your horror movie marathon, which you've been sharing on Twitter, so good to see that. Yeah, great. Speaking of movies and horror, I'll be talking about that in a bit. Jana Banana in the house. It's very rare, isn't it? Oh my God, yeah. I'm the warm-up for Zach's show later. You know, kind of unofficial warm-up. He's on later on, so looking forward to that. Great. Look shredded. No, I don't. I feel like an old man, mate. I woke up like aching all over just from an hour and a half in the dojo. But I'm still doing me dumbbell, emphasis on dumb. Still doing me dumbbell training. It's been 4 months now and I'm starting to get a little bit of niku, kin niku in Japanese. Great to see everybody. This is amazing and I can't believe it. Morning Haze in the chat as well. And also a very rare appearance from Koba. Koba, how are you doing? Great to see you. Yeah, I wish we could do the Predator shake, mate. That'd be awesome. It's going to be a waffle, but it's going to be mainly focusing on some comic book news. So before you all leave, don't go yet, I thought I'd open with a bit of a catch up, let you know what's been going on. But yeah, I'd say mainly want to focus on there's been some massive comic book news because I think it's been New York Comic Con over the weekend. Well, it is this weekend. So I'll be talking about some news and some reviews later on, show you a little bit of the stuff I've been reading. But yeah, just great to be here. Great to be here. And maybe it's a better time, this time in the morning. Mrs. Wakizashi's not sure. She's next door there, like quietly on the computer. So yeah, she's got to listen to me, like blabbering on. Okay, now, where are we? So great to see Zax as well. Good to see you, man. I feel like I should drop a quick clip because I'm so excited. It's unbelievable. Okay, everybody, it's time for the Mantis dance. Here we go. Yeah, maybe. Anyway, maybe not. So, okay. The comments are flying in. Hey, up. Gray, don't be modest and let us watch your your bicep curls. Tell you, Kobe, if you knew how much I was actually lifting, you would laugh. You'd laugh your head off. But hey, you got to start somewhere, haven't you? You got to start somewhere. Everyone do the Mantis. That's brilliant. So, without further ado, big news this weekend. Big news. Let me share my screen. First of all, a bit of news from Ghost Machine, who, if anyone is into comics and you want some quality comics, do check out the Ghost Machine books. They're being published by Image. They include Redcoat, Geiger, the wonderful Rook Exodus, and recently there was a horror comic called Hyde Street came out. So it's been really good. I mean, pretty much almost every issue has been a hit so far. I think the main titles they're only up to like, where are we? Yeah, that's it. We're only up to like issue 5, 6 or 7, so it's only been half a year. But yeah, this is what they were saying at the Comic Con. Just let me point out how awesome is this. This is written by Austin Manchester. Shout out to Manchester. Brilliant. Is that a real name? That's what I want to know. And this is from yesterday, October 19th, because it's the 20th in Japan, believe it or not. So yeah, Jeph Johns, Brian Hitch, Peter J. Tomasi, they were on the stage talking about how it's been going, what's coming up. What's been good and what's impressed me about it is that each artist has stayed on the book for the first 6 issues at least. You know, but there's been no delays, no fill-in artists, and we've got news of what's coming out. There's going to be the Rocket Fellas, and Hornsby and Halo. Where are we? Writer Peter J. Tomasi and artist Francis Manapul. There's a little bit of a view here, a preview of it. They were talking about the Rocket Fellas, not the Rockefellers. The Rocket Fellas, it's a book about a family who escapes from the future and hides in our present. Tomasi compared the situation to being in a futuristic witness protection program. The family is hiding from certain death. So this sounds pretty good, and what I like about this, the sound of this, is it's being listed as an all ages book. You know, it can bring young readers back into comics, hopefully. Essentially, an adventure science fiction book focusing on family. Imagine that. Imagine focusing on family in this day and age. Unbelievable. It will follow children from heaven and hell who are sent to live with a family on Earth, so the future rulers of the afterlife can learn empathy and all other positive emotions. Wow, sounds pretty cool. They are an angel and a demon. They're also 13-year-olds, says Tomasi. So he described it as full of empathy and a lot of fun. Epic and wonderfully mundane. Strange. Also, we've got a listing for First Ghost. First Ghost is going to be tying into the Unnamed universe, which includes Redcoat, Geiger. And there's going to be a Redcoat First Ghost issue next year where Simon Pure, basically John Constantine, Simon Pure from Redcoat is at the White House when it's burned down, but it's not Simon's fault. There we go. And there's one more. They're talking about, there's going to be a one-shot called Devour. I think that's part of the horror line. Also, The Soulless will be next. The next It Happened on Hyde Street one-shot. A very personal 64-page story, again about family and what you would do for family. The travels you would do, the things you would do to right a wrong. So they're talking about that going to be coming out later on next year when Hyde Street issue 10 releases. So I didn't know that. I didn't realise Hyde Street was going to be. Where are we? I thought it was just going to be like a series of, occasional one-shot specials, but it sounds like it's going to be an ongoing series, which is cool. Zax, I guarantee Japan doesn't have dumbbells designed for a 6 foot 5-inch grey. I'm not that tall. I'm actually shrinking, as I get older. 51, I'm almost 52, can you believe that? 52 in January. Stand up so you can see me Mothra t-shirt. Mothra versus Godzilla. But yeah, I'm too embarrassed to show biceps because I don't really have any. I saw photos of Zax. He was on holiday recently. I saw him on Instagram. My God, it's going to take me 10 years to look like that. Brett in the chat. Thank you very much for the super sticker. Let's have a look. Show it on YouTube. Oh, it's lovely. Look at that. It's a dog. It's Shiba Inu. Sending some hearts. Sending some love to Gray and Mrs. Wakizashi. Where we are. Thank you. Thank you so much. It is a great shirt, isn't it? Thanks. Okay, for you get a clip. Let's have some samurai action. I love this clip from Shogun. Shogun, one of the best TV shows this year. That's how you deal with the haters, by the way. Just need a katana, not a wakizashi. Wakizashi's too short. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. Right, where were we? So Ghost Machine is going very well at the moment, looking good. If you've got any interest in comics, it's worth having a look. You've got science fiction story, you've got a kind of comedy, national treasure, conspiracy theory story set in America. And you've also got Geiger, which is a futuristic, little bit of a Mad Max style story. So, what else do we have in the news? Big news, folks. For anyone who's a long-time comic book fan like me, DC have announced the return of Vertigo. Vertigo Comics. The Vertigo line will return. Where are we? I had a news story about it, but I've lost it. Ah, I know where it is. I actually bookmarked it. Yay. What a good idea. Okay, just bear with me. Whoa, we have Andrew as well. Andrew Gonzalez. Thank you so much, mate, for your comments on the video, on the reviews. Brilliant to hear from you. I'm glad you're enjoying some good comics. We do have good things to talk about. What's interesting is they're mostly coming from, you know, the supposed indies at the moment. But yeah, great to see that. Brett saying, Shogun. That's Trump's favourite show too. Oh my goodness. That's cool. Right, let me share this news about Vertigo. Because I, not grew up with it, but I got into comics with kind of like Batman, Daredevil and Spider-Man. Back when they were just, you know, normal. The regular comics before the Vertigo lineup. And then I discovered like Grant Morrison. He was writing Animal Man before it became a Vertigo title, and Doom Patrol. Then, of course, I got into Invisibles, Sandman, all those comics. So the news that it's coming back, yeah, got me pretty excited. Saying that, though, is it too late? You know, can they really relaunch it? Let's see what they've got to say. Where are we? Come on. So the big news about Vertigo, it's going to be initially reprinting. Here we go. Got it here. The Nice House by the Sea, The Nice House on the Lake by James Tynion. Tiny Onion. That's going to be the first release, but they're talking about they've got quite a few titles which were, in the vaults, as it were, which weren't released yet. So they've got some to put out. Let's see what they've got to say. Vertigo, the iconic imprint, is back from DC Comics. Jim Lee discussed the impact of the label, how important it was for comic book history before announcing the return. He called out Nice House on the Lake in particular, reading the book and getting jarred by seeing ads for other DC comics in the book. He also noted that Warner Brothers executives, whoever cares about them, thought it was a DC Comics mainline universe title. So that's why they wanted to bring back Vertigo, apparently. So, DC Vertigo is back as an imprint. Nice House on the Lake and the sequel, Nice House by the Sea by James Tynion. It's the flagship title, getting rebranded Vertigo going forward. There we go. There's a cover of number 1 of the Nice House by the Sea, which I'm actually not reading. I did try the first series, Nice House by the Lake, and it was okay. It just wasn't really my thing. I don't know. More kind of slice of life with a mix of horror. Wasn't really into it. Excuse me. Ooh, love that sound. James Tynion came on stage to talk about how personal this story is and how weird it is for his friends to read, since some of the characters are partially based on them. Imagine that. You're reading a comic book and you wait a minute, this character feels a bit familiar. Oh my god, it's based on me. More to the point of Vertigo, Tynion was saying, Vertigo has been a huge part of my life. It's the biggest reason I wanted to create comics. Reading The Sandman in high school, I realised comics can be anything. It unlocked my mind. Well, that was the same for me, but more with Hellblazer. Hellblazer, you know, the early run, and Doom Patrol, more than maybe Invisibles. Doom Patrol I thought was awesome. And I'm actually rereading that and reviewing that with Jim from Weird Science Comics. Most of those are only available to members though, sorry, so you gotta join the dojo to get to hear those long waffly reviews of me and Jim. Well, it's mainly Jim and me trying to get a word in, you know what I mean? So yeah, where are we up to? Where are we going? Continuing the news from the New York Comic Con DC panel. This is big news as well, folks. It's not Vertigo, but the return of Hush from Jeph Loeb and Jim Lee. Hush 2 is going to be coming in, beginning in Batman issue 158. There's a cover, a Jim Lee cover. It's a brand new epic saga, teased Jeph Loeb, adding that Jim Lee's art is next level. They always say that, don't they? You know, they're going to say, oh, it's not quite as good as it used to be, you know, but he's trying. There's nothing better than when Jim Lee's in a competition and he's in a competition with himself. It sounds so cheesy, that. It's like a movie or TV show tagline. The story will also bring back Scott Williams and Alex Sinclair, and it will run for 6 issues starting in March 2025. So March 2025, March next year, it's going to come. Then it will come back later with another 6 issues that will resolve the Hush saga once and for all. Okay, so yeah, so big news there. Vertigo and boing, stop sharing. Hush 2. Let me catch up. What's up, Gray? I'm good. I'm Genki. Oh, thanks, Andrew. Appreciate it. You enjoy the vids. I'm glad somebody does. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Zax has been a member for 21 months. This is unbelievable. And he says he gets vertigo from looking up at me. Okay, well, Zax, for you, mate, it can only be this clip, can it? From our favourite movie, mine and yours. I think it's one of our favourites. The Wonderful Excalibur. That's how me and Zax compete in the gym. You know, we don't try to outlift each other. We growl and puh and spit and watch a crazy dancer. That's how we compete. Okay, comments. Zax must be Wolverine. No, he's not. I don't believe he's a short man. He looks very tall. He looks tall and big. He's about as wide as he is tall, and the width is in his shoulders. Unbelievable, I'm telling you. You can have the Last Supper on one of his shoulders. It's that long, it's that wide. It's unbelievable. Huge tables. Where are we? Okay. So yeah, what do you think? Are you excited? Excited about that? I am a bit excited about Hush 2. Hush was a pretty good story, but it's a long time ago now, isn't it? God, it's years ago when that came out. So, a little bit more news for you folks. Here we go. Just let me share my stream. Share my screen. Next up is for any Daredevil comic book fans out there. We have the announcement of Daredevil Cold Day in Hell, written by Charles Soule, art by Steve McNiven, who apparently returns to comics for the first time in a while. I've heard the name, but I don't know. What he's done. Let's have a look. New first look here. Daredevil Cold Day in Hell issue 1. It's not out until April next year, but it sounds pretty interesting. Where are we? Charles Soule, the writer who has written Daredevil before, he said he started out by going, why are not more people learning from Frank Miller and the storytelling he does? I was inspired by his work on Dark Knight Returns to a certain degree. The structure of a 16-panel grid. Wow, that's big. Think about it. Most comics go for like the 9-panel, it's popular, 333, but 16-panel. It forces you to do different storytelling techniques. Check out a preview below. Let's have a look at some of the art, folks, but here is the brief synopsis of the comic. Of course, it's set in the future. It's going to be like an old man Daredevil. Years into the future, a powerless Matt Murdock is no longer Daredevil, but he's still the man without fear, doing whatever he can to help those in need in a city broken beyond repair. These cities are always broken, aren't they? He'll finally be able to take the fight to where it matters most when something catastrophic happens, causing his powers to miraculously return. Okay, so he's lost his powers in this storyline. It's basically like an Elseworld, a what if. With no one by his side, Daredevil has little chance against the evil permeating every corner until Captain America entrusts him with a mission to safeguard the world's only hope. Wow. So here we go, give you a look at some of the art. It's a bit, what's the word? Stylistic, shall we say? This is the Steve McNiven art. If I click on here, make it bigger. Ladies, what do you think? Unique, kind of a unique style, isn't it? It reminds me a little bit of Frank Quietly, but less detailed. Oh dear, I can't get back now. I can't get back to the story. Here's a bit more. What do you think? Looking good? Not sure? I'm up for it. I didn't actually read Charles Soule's initial run because I wasn't reading comics back then. Got back into it with DC Rebirth. But yeah. So April 2024 for one of 3. It's only going to be a 3-part miniseries. Looking pretty good. Daredevil, A Cold Day in Hell. Okay. get back to the stream. I'm like 6'1" Canadian, says Zax. We're almost the same then, Zax. I knew you were tall, I could tell. Hey, Salty Travelling Sea in the chat. Went to 2 actual comic book shops today. Had to drive 120 miles one way. And I picked up, or I got, several of your recommendations. That's brilliant. Great, mate. My God, 120 miles. That's close to me. It's like if I went to my closest physical comic book shop, I think there's one in Osaka, which is about 3.5 hours by a coach, by a bus or train, 3.5 to 4 hours. So, you know, if you drive, if you speed a little bit, you can maybe do it in 3, but now 3.5 hours. I don't know what that is in miles, but that's how far it is. Pretty far. Good on you, Salty. Look forward to seeing what you got. If you can share some photos with me, that'd be awesome. Where are we? Salty being very generous with the super chat. I've got to play a clip just for him. But what does he like? It's hard to find a clip that Salty will appreciate. Let's see. Where are we? Yeah, this one. This is it. This is him. This is actually Salty in an earlier life.
It's better to burn out than to fade away.
The Kurgan. Fantastic. How good is he? Andrew, yeah, Charles Soule did do a lot of the Star Wars comics, and was he writing it when Marvel relaunched it, the original run, like, you know, a few years ago when it was really, really popular? I think he was, wasn't he? Excuse me. If he wasn't, he was certainly writing either the main Star Wars title or the main Darth Vader title, and I heard they were very good. So yeah. Look at this, it's Salty and Purple in the same chat. It's unbelievable. It's like the old days. It's like getting the band back together. Delighted to see you, folks. Okay, and the last piece of comic book news before I go on to some recommendations from last week and show you some brilliant comic book art as well. Would you like to see a preview of Absolute Batman issue 2? I would. I had it somewhere. Oh my God, I can't find it now. I had it prepared earlier. Oh, there's a King of Spies library edition announced for July next year. That's been one of my favourite recent Mark Millar miniseries, King of Spies. Absolutely classic. Let me share this for him while I do that. While I look for the other one. If you've not put this up, folks, it's brilliant. I think it's 4. Is it 4-issue miniseries or 5? It's basically James Bond coming back from retirement, taking out the true evil villains of the world, you know, not the like the Blofelds or the megalomaniac, you know, Dr. Nose, the real villains, if you know what I'm talking about. If you know what I'm talking about, you know, the ones that you're not allowed to talk about on YouTube probably, but they're all over Twitter at the moment. It's crazy. Where are we? Let's see. Dark Horse Books has revealed another library edition for a Mark Millar project. This time, King of Spies. Joining Millar is artist Matteo Scalera. The art's great in this. Again, it's a bit of a unique style, but once you get into it, you get used to it. I think it's brilliant. Britain's top secret agent, now in his 60s, discovers he has 6 months to live. Now he must choose between a gentle decline or going after everyone he thinks deserves to die. With the state of the world as messy as it is, Sir Roland King has a long list of people he blames for the world's problems. And those politicians, royals, journalists and celebrities are about to be rooted out. Before he goes, King wants to upset the status quo and eliminate as much corruption as possible. It's so good. It's just a great series. When was it? Was it last year or was it the year before? It kind of like, it caught the end of the year, so I can't remember, but it was one of my picks of the year, you know, from whenever it came out. Absolutely excellent. If you haven't picked it up, recommend it. I mean, you don't have to get this library edition. Just get the pick up the trade paperback. Okay. I wanted to share some of the Absolute Batman news. Where are we? Absolute Batman news, but it's not letting me. It's not working. Did anyone out there read Absolute Batman? That's the question. What did you think, if you did? it took me a few reads to get into it, and yeah, to be honest, like, I kind of came out of the comic preferring Alfred, the character of Alfred. That version of Alfred is so much more interesting than Bruce Wayne and Batman in the comic, but hey, why not? No, okay, never mind, let's forget it. Let's get back to the chat. Here you are, awesome one, you were here earlier, mate. I'm getting deja vu. Fantastic to see you, mate. And Salty, okay, you already read it. Yeah, it's so good. It's King of Spies. Oh, we're talking about Absolute Batman. Yes, Alfred is the better character, the more interesting character in it. So, what I should do is Absolute Batman issue 2 preview. Wait till you see the art. We get a look at the new what do you call it? This is it, got it. The new Batmobile, kind of. It's just crazy. Let me share this. Oh, thank you very much. Love your reviews. Soothing accent. Really? I appreciate it. I'm not posh enough, maybe. I'm trying to go, maybe I should go like Little Platoon and go very posh, but I can't keep that accent up for very long. My northern roots, my Manchester roots always come out. Thank you very much. I'm trying to read your the name, Natius Art or Natius Art. Very cool. Great to see you. Welcome. Awesome one. Rock Ballesteros, a channel I mod, showed off Absolute Batman on his channel. Okay. Coola boola. Nice one, Salty. Drop the link in the chat above to read it on. Okay, you can get a... So I'm just laughing at the comment. You can get a preview of the here. Thank you very much. What accent? LOL. What are you talking about? Okay, here we go. Let's share this. I tell you, I'm not sure about this new Batmobile. It's more like a bat tank. Here we go. That is a pretty dope image, though, or cover. If it's a cover, look at this. The skyscraper burning in the background. You can see the bat. The shape of the Batman's cowl there, the mask. Very cool. Although, I'm not sure about Batman's legs. They're even bigger than Zax's shoulders and arms. Unbelievable. They're huge. I think his calves are bigger than his thighs. Absolute Batman 2 brings the violence. Written by Scott Snyder, art by Nick Dragotta. Here we go. It gives you a preview of the covers first. Some nice looking covers. Let's get to the art. Here we go. The party animals. Batman's fighting using his cape. His cape is a weapon now he can use, which is pretty cool addition. What do you think of the art, folks? Looking good, yeah? I say I've been building this up. Wait till you see this bat tank. It's crazy. Yeah, I'm still not sure about the Batman though. He's kind of too big. His legs are insanely huge. And he's got a small head. Here we go. Here's the version of Alfred. He's an MI6 kind of agent who's been tracking down Batman. So he doesn't know Bruce Wayne. You know, it's a different timeline. It's Elseworld style. Here it comes. Here it comes. This is it. Here's the tank. Let's click on this. Make it bigger. Oh, wow. It's like a bulldozer, isn't it? More than a tank. The Bat-dozer. That police car's going flying in the background. Oh my gosh, what's happening? The poor policeman running for his life. So yeah, I'm not sure about this. We'll see how it goes. Then it builds up to this panel here, which is actually excellent. In an interview with AIPT, they're asking about the Batman suit. The new suit seems to invoke a bat even more. What do you think? Is that on purpose? On purpose? Nick Dragotta, the artist, says, absolutely, we drew upon bats for inspiration. When you read the story, I think we're going to reinforce what I just said. The idea was this wouldn't be a new Batman and look, but actually have a function. What's interesting is that everyone is now talking about how different he looks. It really informed giving him that new feel. It all goes back to story and who this Bruce Wayne is and every aspect of his costume. It's not just a utility belt anymore, it's a utility cowl or a utility suit cape. Everything's usable. And one of the cool things, folks, about the Look at that, as we look at that. One of the cool things about the new suit, which people didn't initially like, the symbol is very weird. The bat symbol looks crazy. It's almost like just a plain rectangle with a couple of points on it, pointy bat ears. But he uses it as the head of an axe. Like, you see him, like, just detach it from his costume, and he's got this huge bat axe, just taking people out with it. It's like, what's going on? What happens if Batman doesn't kill? I do like the art, I've got to say, apart from the giant legs. Yeah. Okay, let's get back. Let's get back to you. Is it a robot mecha suit he's in? No, it isn't actually, but it almost could be, couldn't it? Just those legs are huge. I can't stop thinking about his thighs. What's happened to me? What is going on? Oh my God, those thighs. Great to see Jacob in the chat. How are you, mate? Are you good? Are you Genki? Batman didn't skip leg day. Yeah. Thunder thighs. Exactly. I'm Bunny Man, says Awesome One. I knew it. I knew you were. Shout out to all the rabbits and carrots in the chat. There's no way he can take a corner in that thing in Gotham City. Yeah. What was it? Was it the original Tim Burton? Or was it one of the later ones? I can't remember where. Yeah, I think it was the Tim Burton Batman. Where the Batmobile, he fired this kind of grappling hook to turn a corner. It kind of caught a lamppost and he turned this corner. Imagine doing that with that new Bat dozer. He'd rip the lamppost out of the ground. Be pulling buildings down with it. Crazy. Dwayne is here as well. Great to see you, mate. Dwayne in the chat. Absolute vodka Batman. Chugged it and bounced the empty bottle off a poor thug's head. Look at Dwayne dropping the jokes in the chat. That's awesome. Very, very cool. But yeah, I said my score went up after a reread. I reread it. The second time I read it, I thought my score went up. But the third time, I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. I'm hoping that issue 2 will be better. Okay. So, comic book reviews, comic book recommendations. I have a recommendation for you folks, and maybe something you're not expecting. Here we go. Flash Gordon Chapter 3 just came out, or Book 3. This is written by Jeremy Adams, arts by Will Conrad, and it's published by Mad Cave, so it's one of the indie, smaller press titles. You might not have heard of it. You might not have even known there's a Flash Gordon series coming out. Oh dear, as we wait for the page to load. Oh, thanks for that. Thanks for that, Global Comics. What are you doing? Great is wishy-washy and wafflery. I am waffly. Yeah. I would like to show you the art, but for some reason it's not having it. So while we look for that, I'm going to show you something else, ladies. Yes, this will do. This is what I want to show. So I recommend Flash Gordon, by the way. It's only up to issue 3. It's worth checking out if you haven't caught it yet, you haven't started. This is the one I want to shout out, and Salty knows all about this, by the way. One of the longest titles in comics. It's called Falling in Love on the Path to Hell. New story arc starts with issue 5. It's just dropped last week. Written by Jerry Duggan. Art by Gary Brown. It's a story about a female samurai and a male cowboy. It's a bit of a misnomer, that, isn't it? Male cowboy. Like an Old West style gunslinger. They're stuck in this weird limbo world between heaven and hell, or earth and hell, or something, some kind of limbo. And yeah, we get the backstory of Asami. Asami's the female samurai in here. Pretty cool. Fleshing out the narrative here. I like the art style in this. It's very, very cool. Very, the action scenes are very kinetic. The way it moves. Smack. Oh my God. Getting punched. Let's scroll down. Look at that. Getting married with a black eye. Poor Asami. She wasn't happy. Let's go down to the actual present day. Woo! Missed someone getting the head cut off there. Somewhere between life and death sits a place called Insula Equilibrium. And yeah, I say there's the female samurai and the cowboy, McCraith. McCraith and Asami are kind of falling in love slowly, but they're trying to stay alive. Find them and kill them. Several miles from McCraith's old camp, Asami had discovered a natural hidden fortress. The bluff she made home was not visible from the cliffs above. Twice, Mohan's men, Mohan was that crazy turban-wearing guy that you saw a minute ago, Mohan's men had walked by and never suspected she was right under their feet. Her new friend was a man of many talents. This is McCraith, yeah, the cowboy, the gunslinger. He was an artist that worked in lead, bullets and pencils. Ba-boom-ch. As a child in Kansas, he'd even managed to draw accurate and some would say pleasing wanted posters. Check this out, we're going to get a bit sexy in a minute, folks. I've been going for what, over 30 minutes, so should be alright. When he got older, he graduated from drawing them to appearing on them on the wanted posters, but those are tales for another day. So Asami's like going through his journal, peeping while he's out, and guess what she finds? Look at the shock here, McCraith! She turned to the wrong page. The cowboy was also something of a fantasy artist. Just as he walks back in, saying, "Got us some fresh agua. That's Spanish for water, by the by." Oh, shit. Can't do American, sorry, folks. But she's so cool. She just bops him on the hat. She's not really that bothered. So let's get some of the action. Scroll down, give you a look at the art. This kind of thing, it's dynamic, it's moving, it's cool. Don't spoil too much, but where are we? Here we go. There's a great scene here where she cuts an arrow in midair with a naginata. Fantastic. But walks into a trap. So not infallible, not a complete girl boss. They get caught at the end. McCraith is fast on the draw here. He shoots the rope which is hanging her just in time to stop her choking to death. And then they are taken out from above by we don't know what. Stay out of the trees. Somebody in the trees who shoots an arrow into his gun. I won't spoil the end, but yeah, very, very cool. Where are we? Oh my god. What am I doing? And while we're on the subject of weird art, let me shout out Precious Metal, issue 5, by Darcy Van Polgeest and Ian Bertram on this art. Wait to see the art, folks. Well, look at the cover for a start. This is a style throughout. Very psychedelic, very weird. It's very cool. It's almost like a French style. The heavy metal, the original heavy metal, the bande dessinée. A little bit Mobius almost. Just a weird space fantasy, sci-fi story, which I can't even describe it. It's just worth reading for the experience of reading it, taking in this art. Look at this. Look at these images here. It's so inventive. Just something different. This chapter's called Along Came a Butterfly. Man, you just don't see this kind of thing, in DC and Marvel. It's Image Comics, so they're prepared to take a chance. They let original creators try their original stories. I often wonder how well these sell, how can they survive on this? Do they make enough money to be able to do this? Often the case is no, they don't. That's why you see them doing work for, the big two, Marvel and DC. A lot of these creators are doing both. Yeah, but yeah, Precious Metal, worth a look if you haven't checked it out. Okay, let me get back to the stream. Goodness gracious. Stop sharing. So it's got the whole run. It's great, isn't it? Falling in love on the path to hell. I tried to train my daughter to be a ninja or someone, but she's grown up now, so it didn't work. She did do karate for a few years, and she got pretty good. She was good at karate, but she's too busy now, working. She's become a slave to the system. Oh my god. Yeah. Crow Dead Time rocks too. Okay, we got a recommendation from Salty there. I haven't heard of that one. I will have a look. So, you think you can tell? Heaven from hell. Nice one, Jacob. Dropping the Floyd quotes. Blue scars from pain. Very good. I almost got Precious Metal. Oh, did you? Oh, okay. Depending which one you're talking about, Andrew, Falling in Love on the Path to Hell. It's an ongoing for as long as it is, if you know what I mean. There was in the letter column at the back of the latest issue, the creator, like Jerry Duggan was talking about, they both, he and the artist, they want to keep it going as long as they can, but it depends on sales at the end of the day. So it's an ongoing at the moment. Really enjoying it. The Precious Metal, I haven't finished reading the latest issue because the long issues they're about 50, they're over 50 pages each. I think this is the last issue. I'll double check now. Let me have a look. Bring up the ever reliable League of Comic Book Geeks. It's turned into the best site, this, by the way, for comic book news. Really, really good. Where are we? Where's Precious Metal? Down near the bottom, probably. Okay, wait a minute. Did it not come out? Am I getting mixed up? Is it the week after? Oh dear. Tell you what, let's put it in the search bar. Precious Metal. There are no comics matching that name. What? What are you talking about? Are you crazy? Maybe I imagined it. Okay, Dwayne's got Precious Metal 1 to 4 in his reading pile. Brilliant. Yeah, the colour is amazing, Salty, in both those comics. The colours in Falling in Love and The Path to Hell. Oh, I haven't seen the physical, but I'm sure it looks great on the page. And Precious Metal are really, really good. Okay, Sumerian Comics did Crow Dead Time. Gotcha. That's awesome. Thanks, man. And Nuke in the chat. Long time no see, man. How you doing? What do you think about Jeremy Adams writing Aquaman? I think as a character I've never really read, I would give it a shot because it's Jeremy Adams. As I say, I was trying to show the Flash Gordon comic, but for some reason, Global Comics, which is still a new kind of little bit buggy site, I got a good deal on that. It's made by the original people who made Comixology until Amazon murdered Comixology, so it is very good. It's mainly indie comics on there at the moment, but they just landed a load of DC back catalogue. A lot of the Vertigo titles are now on here, so it's worth it if you've got any interest in, the classics like Doom Patrol, Animal Man, Invisibles. I'd say Flash Gordon issue 3 was great art. I was trying to show it, but here we go. Okay, it's working now. Thank goodness for that. Let me share this. Great. So he's writing that as well, Newt, to answer your question, Jeremy Adams. And I read the first issue and I was kind of like, it's okay. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to stick with it. For some reason I didn't try issue 2, but I've just finished issue 3. And you get the kind of Ming's backstory, the origin story of Ming the Merciless, who looks very different, by the way, to Max von Sydow in the classic Flash Gordon movie. This is the Ming race. Interesting look. They're almost like kind of goblin-esque, half Skrull, half goblin style. But yeah, it's cool. You get a cool backstory. There's some good action, kind of core intrigue going on, and you get Flash Gordon fighting this huge, crazy, four-armed creature in like a gladiatorial pit. It's just good pulp fantasy, that kind of thing. If you're enjoying Conan, I think you'll enjoy Flash Gordon. What do you think, folks? I like the art. Will Conrad is a good artist. This is a style. It's good for, especially for an indie, for a Mad Cave book, who are one of the smaller of the so-called, independent creators. Yeah. Recommendation. Okay. Stop sharing that. Let's get back to you. Hellboy Comics, Jacob. Yes. Me too. They're on there as well now. They're on that global comics site. They have the back catalogue of Hellboy and the BPRD, Bureau of Paranormal Research and Development, which is good too. I've been enjoying those. The art does look good, doesn't it? Yeah. Will Conrad is a good artist. Very cool purple. I reckon you'd dig it too. Always got time for a bit of pulp. Pulp fantasy, space fantasy. Right. So forget about precious metal for now. Apparently it doesn't exist. Crazy, eh? I wanted to show you one more before I finish up. I'm only going to be going for at the most an hour, like 50 minutes to an hour. And then you've got Zach streaming after me. Zach's will be streaming later on. It should be fun. Precious metal comic. Here we go. Okay, it's showing 6 issues here. Okay, so there's going to be another issue of Precious Metal if you're interested. Let me share screen. After looking for it on League of Comic Book Geeks, here it is. Set 35 years before the events of a comic book miniseries called Little Bird, Precious Metal follows disillusioned mod tracker Max Weaver when a routine hunt for a modified child takes a grisly and unexpected turn. He finds himself saddled with an unpredictable mod who may be the key to unlocking his missing memories. Soon, Max will find that he isn't the only one interested in the child's unique abilities. And if he wants to know more, it's going to cost him everything. Great. So yeah, these are $5.99, but they are oversized issues. As I say, the latest one just came out. Issue 5 dropped, as far as I know. Okay, that's why I make a mistake. It's 2 weeks ago. It was out October 9th, that's why I missed it. Not getting many reviews, and it's kind of mixed reviews, so yeah, I don't think it's selling that well, unfortunately. It's a shame. It's definitely worth a look. Okay, and the last one, if I can preview. I actually have a DC Comics title to recommend. I know, right? What's going on? I enjoyed Batman Full Moon, the werewolf story, but I wanted to shout out the Batman and Robin Year 1, Issue 1, by Mark Waid and Chris Samney. Just love this art in here. Here we go. It's got a very unique style. Okay. Some people maybe don't like it, but Chris Samney did Firepower. Have you ever read that? It's basically Image Comics version of what's the guy called? Iron Fist. But a better version of Iron Fist. No, not that one. Window. This one. Here we go. Batman and Robin, Year 1. I can't make it any bigger, unfortunately, but let's give you an idea. It's going back in time. It's Dick Grayson, the original Robin, when he's still a kid. You know, not long after Bruce Wayne adopts him, after poor Dick Grayson watched his family, his parents, die in a terrifying circus supposed accident, but it wasn't, was it? So it's original Alfred, Bruce, pretty cool Batmobile there. Look at this. I just love this style. It takes me back. It does remind me a little bit of the David Mazzucchelli, Frank Miller, classic Batman Year 1, which is essential reading for anybody out there who hasn't read it. So cool. This is it, the public debut of Batman and Robin. Any idea who we'll be up against? That's what the signal is for, says Batman. Maybe it's the Joker. Wham, pow, please let it be the Joker. So you can tell, like, Robin's, he's still the kid here. Sorry, I know this is serious. He's hurt people. And then you got Batman and Bruce saying, Robin, I usually spend the drive mentally preparing. If I'm quiet, it doesn't mean I'm angry. It just means I'm dropping all the pretense. When I'm wearing the mask, I'm me. Follow my lead. Let your true self be your disguise. It's pretty cool writing. No matter what you think of Mark Waid, because, a lot of people don't like him. Remove the creator from the comic, remove the person behind it and just enjoy it on its own. Batman, I swear to God, every grey hair has your name on it. As he makes Commissioner Gordon jump out of his skin yet again. Thank you for coming. This one's not your typical. Before we get into details, Jim, there's someone you need to meet. There's 2 of you? Ta-da! Robin is here to calm your fear. Going under? Call the boy wonder. Jim Gordon's just like, you've got to be kidding me. But just bear with me. It continues, yeah? You know this city, it's a war out there, and he's so young. Then Batman replies with a classic line, name a war that spares the young. Come on, that is brilliant writing. And then Jim replies, that's dark, even for you. Changing the subject, who's giving you trouble tonight? And turns out it's Two-Face. So it's a Two-Face story. Really, really good. Just to show you a few more pages. It's not just the artist's colouring, it's really atmospheric. Look at this page here. Fantastic panel. Fantastic full page. You sure you're ready for this? Asked Batman. Wow, says Robin, you do have a sense of humour. Some of the action there. Look at, yeah, great action. Okay, anyway, I'm waffling on. Waffling as usual. Okay, let's get back to the stream. Look at Gray recommending a DC comic. Unbelievable. So Dwayne agrees with Flash Gordon, gets a high recommendation. Ultra Mega as well, Dwayne. I've got it on my to-read pile. I just haven't got round to it yet. Yes, Ultra Mega. A kind of Images manga title. Looking forward to reading that. Batman and Robin Year 1 rocks, agrees Salty. Chris Samney, yeah. So good in Firepower, wasn't he? Great artist. And Salty's just picked up the full run of Ultra Mega. No way. Awesome, man. First page of issue 1. Yeah, that is a good line, isn't it, Jacob? Every grey hair on Jim Gordon's head has got Batman's name on it. It's classic. And we have Mick C, one of the members of the Wakizashi Teahouse Dojo. Good morning. Guten Morgen. Is it Guten Morgen? Guten Morgen? From Germany. It's way too early. 4 a.m. Nice to see you doing what you do so well. Appreciate it, Mick. Thanks, man. I hope you're good. I hope you're Genki. Batman Superman World's Finest. I haven't got round to it yet. It's still a good read. Yeah. So if you're looking for some good titles out from DC, do check them out. I know it's Batman biased, isn't it? Pretty much, but if you don't mind the weird, dark, kind of scratchy art, Batman Full Moon, there's a werewolf series, is worth looking. I reviewed that on the channel earlier this week. Batman Year 1, Issue 1, definitely worth picking up, in my opinion. And what was the other one I'm going to say? Jesus. Yeah, World's Finest, Dwayne recommends that. It's set in the past World's Finest, so, you know, it's out of the main timeline, so you can enjoy it on its own. From what I'm hearing, folks, World's Finest is doing well because, you know, it's still going. And which one are we up to now? Actually, I can share a review copy if you don't mind before I finish. I'll soon find out which issue we're up to. 32. We're almost at the magic number 33. Here we go. Let's have a look at the latest issue. I've not read this yet, so this is Dwayne recommending it, but I've been reading it up to the latest issue. Darkness Falls. Let's have a look. Is it still Dan Murrah on art, by the way, folks? I can't remember. Let's go back to the cover page, sorry. No, it's not, is it? Gutierrez. Okay, let's have a look. Uh-oh. Batman and Superman have got red eyes and a weird grin. What's going on? Is it Eclipso? I can't remember the character. Shadows Fall, Part 2. Okay, so this issue, 32, is Part 2 of the new story arc. So if you want to catch it, do check out the previous issue, 31, for Part 1. The art looks good, though. It's not too different, is it, from Dan Murrah? Nice. Pretty cool colouring. Purple there, purple Valkyrie. Lots of purples. What's this with Robin? He's got these weird goggles on. What's happening here? So you can see Batman and Superman are under some kind of control. Eclipso. Okay, it's an Eclipso story. I don't know the character that well. Yeah, he looks pretty cool though. And the Justice Society here as well. We've got Hawkman, Sandman, Flash, Green Lantern, Wildcat and Dr. Fate. So, Dr. Midnight. Brilliant. Yeah, so worth a look if you're, looking for a little bit of the old school. I'm going to check this out. Thanks, man. Thanks for the recommendation. Okay, where are we? Stop sharing. I've got to wrap things up. It's time. It's coming up to lunchtime here. Before I do, let's just shout out the chat before we finish up. Salty, good evening to Mick. Genki, just sleep deprived. I was like that yesterday. Oh my god, the jiu-jitsu training was extra hard because I got woken up early Saturday morning by a huge thunderstorm. It was insane. Mrs. Wakizashi slept through the whole thing. It's unbelievable. It was shaking the house kind of thunderstorm, and lightning flashing everywhere. It had been building up from the day before. We'd had a really hot day. It was almost like 30 degrees. Like we're talking 86, 87. Insane for the, middle of October. So almost 30 degrees, and it built up, and then we got a massive thunderstorm early Saturday morning. Woke me up at 4:30. So a bit like Mick over in Germany today. And then I couldn't get back to sleep. I kind of drifted in and out. Went training. I got thrown about on the tatami mats for an hour. Jesus. Back into it. Back into training. But yeah, felt great afterwards. And then took my friend to the airport. Saw him off. Flying back to Switzerland. So yeah, it was really good. Busy day yesterday. So that's why I'm streaming today. But looking at like the numbers of people watching, maybe it's worth doing it at this time from now on. But as I say, I only go for an hour. I don't go too long with these streams. We've got to have lunch soon. Great to see everybody. I can't believe it. So many people watching. It's amazing. Full Moon is good. The Batman Full Moon, the werewolf story. Great pulp story. Mostly great art. Yeah, some of the characters were not that good, were they? So we're kind of laughing about that. The John Constantine and Zatanna not looking very good, but the werewolf scenes were great, and the werewolf was the most interesting character in there, as it should be. Batman Off-World finally coming out, issue 6. Yeah, it's taken forever. That's worth checking out, but the delayed release has really upset it. Like, taking out the story, hasn't it? Jacob, Aliens versus Vampirella was actually pretty entertaining. Plus Vampirella, am I right? I know exactly what you mean. Did you pick up Nemesis Rogues Gallery? Cool, Salty, that's awesome. Try to show me. That's dark, man. Salty, if you've not checked out the previous series, God, what's it called? I'm losing my mind here. I can't remember it off the top of my head. But the current one is Rogues Gallery. Nemesis. Not Nemesis the Warlock, which is also awesome, by the way. 2000 AD, the old series. Rogues Gallery is coming up. Why is the one before not coming up? Okay, never mind. I'm sure you can let me know in the chat. Hey! Nice to see you. Jamin D. Is it Jay or Jai? Jamin? Awesome, eh? Everyone's dropping in just when Gray's going to finish the stream. Nemesis. They're all... Apart from the first one, which I heard is not that good. I've not read it. The original Nemesis series from 2010. People saying like it's not even worth going back to. But, I don't know. It could be. That's just what I've heard. Keep on wanting more. That's the way to do it, innit? That's the way. Jesus, getting Punch and Judy references coming up there. Hey, Lolai Pop, great to see you. Okay, I will forever blame you if it sucks. Wakizashi's Teahouse. LOL. Love the art and panels I saw. It's Mark Miller, so mate, it's never dull. It's always entertaining, and it's good to have like a real villain being a real villain. But Mark Miller's such a clever writer that he messes around, he plays around with comic book tropes, he puts a lot of jokes in there, there's a lot of humour, and he actually makes you care about a complete scumbag villain character, so there you go. Okay. Jamin D finished reading Robert Venditti's Hawkman for the first time. The first 12 issues before they brought like some kind of event came into it, and it kind of not ruined it, but the first, I think, 12 issues of Robert Venditti's Hawkman are excellent. Yeah, I agree 100%. Nemesis is a great evil Batman. Ciao, says awesome one. What time is it in Japan? It's 11:30 a.m. in the morning, 11:30, so half an hour before lunch on Sunday morning. You didn't enjoy it? Yeah, it took me a couple of reads, mate, and I preferred Alfred. Alfred was the most interesting character in Absolute Batman. It's Scott Snyder. Maybe he's all written out, isn't he? He's all written out, Batman. It was mid. Yeah, fair enough. Thanks for the 5 Decembers novel a few months back. Oh, you're reading it, Andrew. That's brilliant. So good, isn't it? A really good hard case crime pulp pulp. It's not pulp noir. Is it a noir story? But it's got a great setting of just before the Pearl Harbor attack, and the main character ends up in Japan at that time. It's a fascinating, really good pulpy, hard-boiled detective story. Recommend it. 5 Decembers. Okay, on that note, I will say good night. Well, to you guys, because it's late where you are, isn't it? And good afternoon for those in Japan. What do we say at the end of the show?
He swaps his long sword for a Wakizashi.
Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you in a future video review. Shout out to the members. Anyone who's still watching on the replay, you guys and girls, you rock. And yeah, what's left to say, but let's go. Let's go to future Tokyo.
No! It's